Welcome back, folks. My name is LastKnownMeal, and today we're going to talk about Cyberpunk 2077. Well, more precisely about the graphics themselves and the changes that were made from 2018 to 2020. Regarding the graphics, over the course of 2 years since we got the 48-minute walkthrough of the game, the quality of the graphics in some areas was improved. Now keep in mind, during that time the game was still in progress. I mean, it still is. And that can also influence the graphics. Because devs will usually look at all the sources of light, the look of the textures and the general feel of the light itself, which can be upgraded or downgraded depending on the game and the studio. Because during the times of The Witcher 3, the game was actually downgraded a bit from the first look of the game. That's why they didn't want the same thing which happened with The Witcher 3 to happen to Cyberpunk itself. Now the good thing is the red engine they are using for Cyberpunk has been developed from scratch for a first-person game for Cyberpunk, and that's important because if the engine itself is made for that game, that means optimization can be done a little bit easier. Again, nothing is easy during development, but at least you have more flexibility with the engine itself. If you remember, Anthem had issues with that engine because it wasn't developed for a game like Anthem. It was developed for other things like, let's say, Battlefield, which has to be changed, and if your engine is causing you a lot of issues, that can translate to people themselves, and what you get in the end is a game which has been poorly optimized. Now let's look at a couple of examples from 2018 gameplay and then the 2020 trailer. First thing I want to look at is Dexter Deshawn car scene. This is how it looked before, and this is how it looks now. We already noticed a couple of things, like the overall color temperature has been lowered a bit, which gives a bit more intensity into the scene and general look of the game. It also provides a nice contrast to his jacket, which has been updated with textures, then the sunglasses that are more transparent now. You can see that in the corner. I mean, general textures have been upgraded as well for other stuff like chain, watch, and even the interior of the vehicle has changed a bit from the first time we saw it, which is also a cool detail. Then we jump to the NCPD technician, which is the scene in Watson before you go to the Ripper Doctor. We already noticed some things have been upgraded, like the model of the technician, which makes him look a bit more realistic, changing the outfit as well, polishing the complexity of the face. And a lot of characters from this game actually got a bit more complexity in the face, like from 2018, which makes them more realistic. And when you translate that into animation, it adds a whole new level of immersion. Regarding the pole behind him has been changed as well to serve as another light source. Keep in mind 2020 footage does use RTX on during the trailer, but not on full settings. They said that they will add more RTX settings like ambient occlusion, diffuse illumination, reflections, and shadows. That also means utilizing the idea of cyberpunk and the style of cyberpunk as a subgenre, where you have all of the neon lights around you with really bright colors that in real life overlap with each other to give you that city effect, to give you that mix of colors, even adding a small light source behind the NPC, as you can see right here. These changes also appear on the level side. Let's talk about the room at the Maelstrom scene when Royce comes out of his room. Remember what I said about color temperature? You can clearly see it here as well. The overall textures have also been improved, visibility as well. The gun itself was changed from the one in 2018. I believe the one used in 2020 is a stock version of that gun, and in 2018 it had upgrades, or it could be a totally different weapon. They again added more light sources in the background to give you that nice contrast, which I applaud definitely. Royce's 3D model also got some upgrades like details on beard and his head augmentations. Regarding other people in the background, they are a lot more visible now. You can see that they are a bit dark in the 2018 version. Also, augmentations were changed and toned down, like the guy on the right, which has different implants, so you have more NPC variety in the scene. Next up is the Royce boss fight scene, which also got an upgrade. It might be just me, but I believe that the area Royce is in right now got extended from 2018. Also, it seems that the exoskeleton Royce is using has been upgraded from before, and V is using a different rifle than before. So it's safe to assume that they either showcased the new weapons for this, or the models for those weapons changed. But generally, I believe that his suit is a lot bulkier than it was before. After that, we have the Victor Vector scene, especially the moment where he kicks the chair. Generally, all gameplay looks sharper than before. Even the things in the background went from being a little bit blurry to a lot more polished and sharper. Again, looking at Victor himself, the tattoo on his arm has been improved, they added color to it, and of course the glasses have been improved to make them interact with light and shadows a bit more, I believe, so you can see, glass transparency in a sense. We also have Meredith Stout's scene. Her look has been improved as well, better textures on the face, which includes the overall complexity of the face. It's a lot more detailed now and a little bit more realistic. Her goons in the back also changed. They made them stand out a bit more. They looked kind of iffy in 2018, but of course those things can be changed and optimized. And it seems they added augmentations like on his arm. You can see he has actual visible augmented arm. Before it wasn't visible, I believe he had just a normal arm. So what's the point of this video? Well, I noticed so many changes regarding the scenes and the overall look of the graphics that I believe it was a cool thing to showcase all of these little details that have been changed or upgraded or added. Textures in the end look a lot better than before. New light sources and how they reflect around was also improved. The contrast between dark places and light sources is a lot better now, giving you a better visibility during those scenes. In the end, we also have Johnny Silverhand, which has been improved from the deep dive. If you remember Deep Dive, Johnny Silverhand there, when they showed him, a lot of people thought that the game was actually downgraded. And it was a little bit troubling to see that look of Johnny Silverhand, but of course, what they've shown now is the upgraded look. You can see that it is Keanu playing Johnny Silverhand. It looks a lot more detailed. His complexity of the face has improved a lot. So on that front, I think people can calm down a bit. I am glad that CDPR is improving on the game. I can't wait to see how they handle LOD transition. That's actually when you get closer to an object and they start popping up in a sense. Those were actually some of the issues that The Witcher 3 had, and I believe they said that they actually solved that in Cyberpunk 2077, so you won't have like buildings popping up in front of you as you're driving closer to Night City from the Badlands, or as you're driving through Night City itself. And that's it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Next time we'll talk about animations. There is a lot to analyze here, from their movement to even how they blink. Yes, it's small but important, and I know I'm annoying with this. I apologize. And that's pretty much it. If you want to stay updated with the latest Cyberpunk 2077 news, click that like and subscribe button and tell me down below what you think about all of this. And maybe I missed something, you can write me down below in the comments. Also join our growing community on Twitter and Discord, and I made a Patreon page. If you are looking for an extra way to support the channel, you can do it through there, and huge thanks to my current Patreon supporters. This is LKM signing out, and stay classy everyone. Bye bye.